The Prentice Alsop Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
The Coaches Show is by Edward Jones financial advisor Lee Colvin, who will work with you to develop a complete, tailored strategy to help you achieve your financial goals. That's Edward Jones financial advisor Lee Colvin. I'm Danny Brewer. I'm super excited this morning because we've got Eagleville head basketball coach Davy McClaran on the line. Coach McClaran, how are you this morning?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
Oh, no, happy to do it. I mean, because, Coach, whether you realize this or not, man, you're like a staple of Rutherford County boys basketball here. I mean, you've been around a while. Eagleville graduate, am I correct about that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because we've talked about that before. So, so you're kind of like, you're some of the heritage of this county in basketball. So, no, we're super happy to have you on. I know that you had a really, really big win last night. So let's talk a little bit about that first to get things rolling.
Yes, sir. We traveled to Richland last night. Played Richland. They're a really, really good basketball team. They're solid in just about every position, and they returned 4 starters from last year. We had to beat them on the last-second shot last year in the region semifinals. We returned 4 starters, so basically you had pretty much the same 2 teams out there on the floor competing last night. It was an emotional game. Obviously, they were, looking for revenge, and we've been playing well leading up to this game. So it was a really good test for us playing on the road. We've only played 3 games at home this year so far, so we've got a bunch of road warriors right now, and it fit up to the billing of the game, and our boys really played well and pulled away late and ended up getting a 20-point win, but it was definitely a hard-fought game.
So winning by 20 on the road, I mean, that's huge when you think about years ago. I interviewed Al McGuire. He won national champion with Marquette in '77. But Al McGuire told me his greatest thrill in coaching was very simple: winning on the road. So when you go down there and you beat them by 20 at their place, got to be good for your kids in many, many ways.
Yeah, we've shown a lot of growth in a year's worth of time. These guys have put in a lot of work. Our growth showed last night. We were able to put them away, something that we've been winning some games this year, but last night was one of the was a turning point for us. Hopefully we can keep the momentum going. We got a lead early in halftime. We were up 8, and we just kept extending the lead. And defensively we have played well this year. That's been our staple. And offensively, we're putting 3 people, sometimes 4 in double digits every night, and those are not the same 3. So that's also a strength. We had really 2 players last night that normally come off the bench. We're down a starter right now, so that was impressive as well. But 2 kids that came off the bench, one had 16, one had 12, and that's another strength. We're 8 solid, sometimes 9. And, we're definitely the definition of a team. We got a lot of guys that are capable of putting 20 points up every night, but that wouldn't make us the team we are if they were averaging that. We've got multiple guys that put up double digits, and you just can't focus on one. So that is definitely our strength right now.
When you can diversify offensively, it makes you so tough to defend and so tough to game plan, especially if you've got kids coming off the bench. So was Owen McClaran was one of them, right? He had 12, I think, and then
Adrian.
Yeah, is Severi? Is that how you say his last name?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so he had 16. So off the bench, getting 28 points from 2 kids off the bench, man, that's huge, Coach.
Yeah, and we had another one hit a 3, so really we had 31 off the bench, and I would like to say that I'm surprised, but that really would be a lie. I mean, these kids are very, very capable. We've seen them in JV all last year. They'd probably be starters on a lot of other teams in our area, and that's just, credit to a couple things. One, the depth of our team, but two, them accepting their role and playing it to the max. They play as hard as they can in the minutes they get. They know they're going to be on the floor, and so they're ready. And it's just such a luxury as a coach to know when you go to the bench. In some areas you get stronger, and some areas you may drop off in size, but you don't drop off in effort and skill set. So that is something that for the Eagleville fans and for our team, I don't think anybody was like, oh, he's having a great night tonight. He's just playing ball, and so that's what I felt like we got out of those bench players last night.
Coach, when you think about as you move toward the turn of the year and district play and all that stuff, good right now that you're able to get kids minutes on the floor and doing those things, because when it comes as the season wears on, you never know what's going to happen as far as injury or a kid gets in foul trouble or whatever. So good to build your depth right now.
Yeah, it's taken me a long time. I've been around for quite a while, and it's hard sometimes to think that you can play without certain people on the floor. But all these kids work hard every day, and you put them out there and you watch them grow, and you challenge them, and practices have been great. So sometimes you just throw them out there and let them prove what they can do, and that's what this group has done. And these work all year long. Very fortunate that we got a group that at a small school, sometimes you'll have a group that plays sports and their main sport may be football, or maybe basketball, maybe baseball, and it goes in waves. And this year we've got a group that their main sport is basketball, and they dedicate a lot of time to that skill set. And I'm very lucky as a coach to have kids that love it as much as I do.
Coach, what's your record right now?
We are 9-1.
9-1. That's pretty impressive when you think about winning 9 out of games, especially when you've had the schedule. Because I know you've played some schools like Riverdale and Central and some of those guys too, and you've been all.
We have, and we also, Friendship Christian. They're a private school. They beat several 4A schools. We played Pickett County, who at the time was a top 5 team in the state. They're projected to make it back to Murfreesboro. We've played Santa Fe, who was at the state tournament, and they graduated one player last year that was a every player's a factor, but when you look at the stats, he didn't even average probably 4 points a game. So they replaced him, so they're virtually the same team. So we've really had a very challenging schedule, and according to BCAT, the Basketball Coaches Association, Santa Fe was like number 3, and Richland was number 5, and in the state, voted on by the coaches. So we've really had to beef up our schedule, and so far our guys have just been extremely locked in. We like to say lock in. That's one of our phrases. They've been locked in, and they've just played really good basketball, and they're just students of the game. They're taking the scouts really good, and they each day they take the criticism like they're supposed to, and they grow, and film sessions and all that. So just couldn't be more pleased at where we're at right now. We just want to continue to grow.
Oh yeah, I mean 9 for 10. That's pretty doggone, especially when you consider the depth of the schedule. Now, when you because you guys have been pretty good over the last few years. When you looked at this year, the scheduling was you did this on purpose, right? You want to play tough before you get into the district play.
Yeah, but there's not a lot of growth without failure sometimes. So, and you also want to be tested because, these guys they don't back down to a challenge, and you don't gain anything by playing opponents that you should win. And so we've beefed up the schedule in that aspect, and the girls too. So both boys and girls me and Coach Lynch decided this year we should go on out there and challenge them, and it makes for good memories, and getting out there and being the underdog a lot of times is is fun as an athlete. And the guys have, they just go one game at a time. And, when you're young, you feel invincible. So they don't really pay attention a lot to who should win or not. They go out there expecting to win every night.
Well, Coach, I'm a big horse racing guy, and one of the things years ago I asked Carl Nasser, he won 2 Kentucky Derbies. I said, Coach, I said, Carl, I said, has the odds ever determined the outcome of a horse race? And he said, well, no, son. And I said, well, what makes you think that, Carl? He said, because horses can't read. So you got to, and I was like, right on, Carl. So you got kids, they're not looking at anything other than they go out there and expect to win every night.
They do, and they approach each practice, with the intent of getting better and winning. So, our one loss we had was to Webb School, and that was early in the year, and we wasn't playing very well. It was only our second game of the year, and I feel like we've cleaned a lot of things up since then. I'm not saying that we could go back and win, but I would like to. Think that we could go back and with the improvements that we've had to this point, make it even better game. We lost by 8 and missed 11 free throws. So, sometimes you beat yourself, but you don't beat yourself up. You just say, okay, we missed our opportunities, and I think we learned from that. We've done better on the free throw line. We've done better, with our approach to how we want to win each game, and just really proud of our growth.
Coach, anything you got on? I know things have been pretty good, but anything you got on the Christmas list as we look toward the New Year's, or anything that you would like? When I say Christmas list for your team, what do you want to see? I mean, you need to see better free throw shooting. It sounds like you've been doing things pretty good. What's got on the Christmas list?
Yeah, one thing that I would like for us to, obviously rebounding. We give up some sides. We're extremely big, so. We want to get rebound. We want to be stingy. We want to finish the play, have a one-shot mentality. And last night I think we gave up 13 points on offensive boards, and you do that, and they don't even make it out of the 30s. A really good offensive team. So we work extremely hard to limit take away what makes the other team click offensively. And then you just have to clean up the play. So we still got to work on our defensive rebound and clean up, those boards. And then, I'm super picky, but just, sharing the ball. Even, we do have different guys every night. Just continue to work on that. It's been a huge improvement this year. And, you just can't preach teamwork enough. And I stay on them all the time about that. And I'm just very pleased at that. We go down to Loretta for a Christmas tournament. We'll play for a school right off the bat, Lincoln County, and then we'll get either Wayne County, who's another top 10 team in the state in single A, or Marshall County, who's a 3A school. So and then we'll play someone else from another bracket that's very capable of beating us. So we just continue to look forward and not be satisfied with the past, and just stay hungry.
Well, that's why you're 9-1 right now, Coach. Coach Davy McClaran, Eagleville, doing some great things. If you want to see good basketball, head over there to Eagleville. They got a great facility, and they got a good product on the floor. Coach, we appreciate your time. Wish you the best of luck, and happy holidays.
Thank you. Happy holidays to you as well.
The Coaches Show is brought to you by Las Casas Feed Supply, locally owned and operated by Coy and Jennifer Young, specializing in animal feeds, premium pet foods, farm supplies, and more.
Hello, this is Coy Young at Las Casas Feed Supply. We would like to welcome you to our door.
I'm Ian Young. I'm at Las